today, and many individuals who aren't even here today that have had a massive part in making this a success. Super thankful for everyone who's been involved. I want to begin by introducing Mayor Wanda, and she will come up and share.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Douglas. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Commissioner Douglas, again, and thank you to all who gathered here today for what is no doubt an important milestone in our region's ongoing response to our unsheltered population. We have come together to acknowledge an important step forward, but also to clarify the city's role, limitations, and unwavering commitment to responsibility and regional collaboration. The city of Harrisburg has long carried the weight of this issue, not just for our city residents, but for many individuals who come here from neighboring municipalities. Let me be clear. We are a compassionate city. We are a city of action, and we will continue to support our unhoused neighbors by doing what we have always done, providing critical services like police protection, fire response, trash removal, and community service aid assistance. In fact, last year alone, the city spent well over $100,000 out of our own general fund to manage and maintain the area commonly referred to as Tent City. That was not grant money. That was not shared revenue. That was taxpayer dollars from Harrisburg residents. I would also like to note that out of the grant money we did receive, granted to us from the federal government, we chose, I'll say that again, we chose to allocate $500,000 each to the Downtown Daily Bread and Christian Churches United, specifically for a significant increase in shelter beds, as well as meals for our homeless population. In doing this, it was perplexing that even during the coldest of winter nights and the hottest of summer days, those facilities had beds available around the clock. We have to accept the fact that some individuals simply choose to remain unhoused. If you ever spent time in the encampment, you know this to be true. For all of this, the city receives no dedicated funding to provide services to this vulnerable population. The county receives those funds, but it is Harrisburg, our crews, our officers, our emergency personnel, our animal control, who show up every single day to meet the need. This is the beginning, though, a starting point, and the city will continue to do our part at this new location. Our teams will continue to collect trash, including everything from mattresses to discarded food that attracts rodents, and we will do so without complaint, because that is what public service demands. Already this year alone, we have picked up 94 tons of refuse from the encampment and paid the incinerator $23,000 for its disposal, Yet our police officers and community service aides will always and now continue to respond. Our fire department will remain on call, and the public can rest well knowing our homeless have a safe place to lay their head at night and sleep. Harrisburg shows up. Harrisburg serves. Harrisburg carries the weight. However, we also must be honest about our limits. The city of Harrisburg does not support the use of open or shared cooking spaces at this location due to clear safety concerns and past incidents. One in which a family's loved one lost his life due to a fire. It was a horrific scene and cruel death. We have seen the risks firsthand: fires, injuries, infestations, overdoses, and sanitation issues. And we cannot endorse a practice that places people in harm's way. We must also be mindful of code regulations at the new site, as we cannot overlook rules and policies that rest of the city must follow. Now, let me close by saying this. Solving homelessness cannot fall on the shoulders of Harrisburg alone. This must be a coordinated, funded, and region-wide effort. We welcome partnerships that reflect those values, and we will always stand ready to help. But we also ask for fairness and shared responsibility. To our community members out there, know this: Harrisburg will not and never turn its back on the most vulnerable. But we must be all at the table, and we must all carry the weight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Williams. Next up, we have Marcia and Randy to come up. I'll allow you guys to introduce yourselves.
Good morning. Thank you for all being here. My name is Randy Yeager. I'm the Human Services Director for Dauphin County. I also serve as the Secretary for the Capital Area Coalition on Homelessness. That coalition was formed with 4 founding entities: the City of Harrisburg, the County of Dauphin, the Foundation for Enhancing Communities, and the United Way of the Capital Region. We have a board of directors who operates and works collaboratively with volunteers, city and county officials, state officials, etc. Dauphin County, in this specific project, to move the unhoused residents from the current encampment to a new safe location, came to us because of the Emergency Rental Utility Assistance bricks and mortar funds. Those funds allow for property acquisition with the intent to build low-income housing in the future. This is one part of a bigger plan. We've also committed 6 other projects through that same bricks and mortar funding for low-income housing. This is a continuum of services that are needed in our community. We are incredibly grateful for the ongoing collaboration with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the City of Harrisburg, CASH, and specifically A Miracle for Sure. I want to thank the organizations, the churches, the volunteers who have been and will continue to serve this community at the new location. We want opportunities for our unhoused neighbors to have accessible rental units in the future and long-term housing. It's imperative that organizations and individuals who want to help coordinate their plans with A Miracle for Sure. They are the entity who has acquired the new site location and will be operating that site location. This is an opportunity to fill in the gaps for supports and services, but we want it to be organized to ensure that the operations are both efficient and effective. A few years ago, A Miracle for Sure stepped up in the midst of a worldwide pandemic. They were one of the few that stepped up and provided shower services when other services were closing. And I have no doubt, because of the many people they've helped move forward, I have no doubt that they will do so with this new encampment opportunity as well. So at this point, I want to turn it over to Marcia for a few words from A Miracle for Sure. Thank you, Randy.
Good morning, everyone. I am so honored to be here this morning, blessed to see a new day. I am nothing without my spiritual connections. I believe that faith is what moves the work that we do at A Miracle for Sure. As Randy just so nicely shared, it'll be 3 years this July 29th that we started this shower program. And in those 3 years, we have developed relationships with our unhoused community that is beyond most normal relationships. We have been able to talk about many things that impact their lives as well as those that does for us. As of just yesterday, we've had conversation with them about how pleased they are about what is to come. So I know for sure that what we are doing at this time is very important to many individuals in our community. I do not see these individuals as strangers. I do not see them as homeless people. I see them as family. It is important for you to understand how we value family. That means that we respect and give dignity and ethical guidelines that we put into place, I think is very important. As we transition, I want people to know that we care about those that we are transitioning, and we know and understand that there are some questions, there are some concerns, but we are taking all of those concerns at bay, and we're going to make sure that everyone that comes to relocate to this community is safe. We want to apply and be a guide for those that are uncertain and unsure. We believe that some will be uncomfortable. We have guidelines set. We want to be safe. We know what the history says. We know what the challenges are going to bring forth. And what I said to the others in the last meeting, not everybody will want to come to this place. It is our hope that they would want to be able to consider looking at different ways of learning. I believe over the last 3 years, those who have come to our location consistently have transitioned healthily. They have made connections. They have been connected to supportive services. They have been open to doing those things. And it is my hope that those that are coming in will continue to do the same. My son Timothy leads the shower program. He makes those connections. He's traveled up and down these roads every day to make sure that these individuals have what they need to produce healthy life living. We will continue to do that in this space. I believe with my heart that our heart is in this, and I don't believe we could do it alone. We have community partners that are eager to get connected. We have individuals that care about these families, and I want them to know that we care as well. This is not about me, it is about us. Together, we make a difference in our community. We have to be compassionate. We have to be caring. We have to want to know that those lives matter to everyone. So, I say this, and I say this with all sincerity. I need us to respect the privacy of these men and women who are bringing their families to this location. I need to say, when you enter into private property. Be kind, be gentle. Do not use or expose these families for any other gain other than to make sure that they are safe and doing what is necessary to move forward in their lives. It is important to us that we continue to restore dignity and respect in this space. I'll say that again. It is private property, and we must honor and support those that need to have that so that they could live safe, without concern, and without lack of safety. Thank you. Denise and Caitlin will come forth now.
Good morning. I'm Denise Hill, President of Capital Area Coalition on Homelessness, and I am joined by the newly appointed Executive Director, Caitlin Cluck. The mission of CASH is to educate and mobilize the community and coordinate services to prevent and reduce homelessness in the capital region. And that is precisely the role we will serve in a miracle community. I want to sincerely thank the Governor's Office, Dauphin County Commissioners, and the City of Harrisburg for their tireless efforts over the past 2 years to ensure that unhoused individuals in the PennDOT encampment have access to resources while experiencing homelessness. A special thank you to the entire team at A Miracle for Sure. This has been no easy task. However, from the very beginning, they have been phenomenal partners in serving this community. CASH is committed to continuing to serving alongside you, to seeing that every family and individual in the capital area has access to safe, affordable housing and the skills and resources necessary to maintain life in that housing. We recognize that housing solutions look different for everyone. A miracle community is another option on the path to a home for all. Thank you. Commissioner Douglas?
So I just want to share. I don't have notes. I just want to share about someone I spoke with that is unhoused, who had a really bad experience in a shelter and was ultimately abused in a shelter. and due to that, feels safer sleeping outside, even in freezing temperature, even in temperature that's extremely hot. And I think it's important that we recognize that when we talk about the unhoused, when we talk about human beings in general, we come with all of our experiences, all of our, collective experiences from childhood to adulthood and beyond. And those experiences inform the places in which we feel safe. And for some, being outside, while I think most of us can acknowledge it's an emergency that we have people sleeping outside in 0-degree temperature, in 100-degree temperature, for some, that is the space in which they feel safe. And I think with that, I'm incredibly thankful to A Miracle for Sure for providing this space because, over the last year and a half, we were not sure we were going to have this as an option. We've seen an expansion in shelter options. We've seen a year-round shelter, which Harrisburg has never seen before, which is amazing for those who are able to go into shelter. We've seen a commitment from Randy and her staff to get people into transitional housing and ultimately into permanent housing. And, I was just meeting with the YMCA this week and them talking about their housing that they have there. And we know there's so many other amazing partners in the city and in the county that are doing amazing work in transitional housing and in affordable housing. But I think it's important that we recognize that this is a diverse effort. We have to be lifting up all of these at the same time in order to give people a path to take a step from wherever they're at. And for some people, they're at a place, I interact with the unhoused out here. I have a few that I know their names. I've invited even one into my office. He won't come inside. That is a reality of his experience. He won't even come inside. He trusts me. We talk all the time, but he won't come inside. It is a fear he has. I just think it's important to recognize that something like this is giving that individual dignity and an opportunity to take a step forward in their space of comfort and to begin the path toward a more dignified way of living and opportunity and resources. And as those doors open, who knows what next doors are going to open, and who knows what that person's life might look like in a year, 2, 5, or 10. And I really believe this effort, done successfully, can have a massive impact on our region, and we can be a leader across the nation in how to provide for people in a dignified way and ultimately provide pathways for people wherever they are. And so that's my commitment. I can't emphasize enough that this was a team effort. And I just want to say, we've met, I believe, every 4 weeks, Randy, or so, since I pretty much was elected, so that's a year and a half. You were probably meeting before that multiple times as well. Cash has obviously been doing work forever. Miracle for Sure has been doing showers, and now this for a long time. I mean, I think of CCU and all the other representatives that we could think of that are in this space that have been doing amazing work. All the people who don't have a 501c3 but organize people to show up and help and provide dignity to this community. I want to emphasize the governor's office, the governor sending a representative to all of those meetings that we were in to ensure that the state was supporting this, and the state has supported and will continue to support this. And then obviously the county and the city continuing to show up. This can easily look like a finish line to some people because it is action, and it is something that I believe is new, and in that sense it is good, and it can feel like we did this, we finished all these meetings we've had, we've crossed the finish line. But really it is the start of something, and there's a lot of work to be done. And I just want to emphasize this because I was once on the other side of this, a volunteer wanting to help, a pastor wanting to mobilize my congregation for the work of helping the unhoused. I want to emphasize there's a way to do that really well, and there's a way to do that where you get in the way. And there's a really good book called When Helping Hurts. When we're not collaborating well, when we're not all swimming the same direction. We have so many people in this great county that want to help. Our invitation is for all of us to get swimming the right direction, for all of us to be moving in the same direction so that we can have maximum impact. And that means collaborate with a Miracle for Sure. If you want to come and provide, you have a particular thing that you want to provide for this new encampment, please let them know. They would love to explore that. But this has to be a coordinated effort because we know the impact it's going to have on the work they're already doing if we collaborate together. And so really encourage you, reach out to the county, reach out to a Miracle for Sure. We want to get you plugged in if you want to help. I want to thank everyone who spoke today, Mayor Wanda Williams, Director Randy Yeager, Marsha Curry-Nixon, and Denise Hill and Caitlin Cluck from CASH, and also all the other partners. And I believe many of us will stick around for questions if you have questions, but thank you so much.
What will the transition process look like between the tent city and the 9th Street property?
So we have a number of volunteers that have already volunteered vans, trucks, additional supplies, and that move will occur over the next several weeks.
Can you talk about like the details of like the location, what it's gonna look like, what kind of like setup is gonna be, how many people are gonna be there?
It's roughly a football field of space. We are going to grid it out into rows of 14 by 14 squares where the living space, whatever tent size, whether it's a 2-man tent or a 10-man tent, can fit in this space. I already have mocked it up and measured. The tents will not be on the ground. They will be on pallet bases. There will be storage units available for better space inside to keep it out the weather. For bins, we're going to give people 50-gallon tubs, if you will, that we can stack and uniformly put things in. It won't be a bunch of trash bags everywhere. We're going to have porta potties there to start. We're going to have trash cans there. We're looking into a dumpster for more. There will be a designated cooking area. And what does that sound like and look like? A grilling station. Like, I'm thinking 6, 7 grills, campground style. There won't be some people heard plumbing and thought that we were running lines underground. Not yet. We are unfortunately still getting our water from a fire hydrant, but there will be a 50-gallon, I think it's a bigger tank, a tank that will reservoir the water. We will be filtering it. It will be clean and sanitary.
What happens in the winter when it freezes?
We will cross that bridge when we get there. The winter is an issue that we are planning towards. So right now I don't have an answer for that, but we will be insulating the box, if you will. So yeah, we'll be accepting donations. We do not have money for this project that people think we do. So look on the Miracle for Sure's website and our Facebook, and whatever you have, we will look into taking.
What is the budget? What is the budget for this project?
We don't have a budget, John.
Okay.
There is no budget.
Right.
We're just trusting in the community. What we have learned is that the community shows up. Faith-based organizations show up. My responsibility at this point was to get the land. Part A is done. So we need to come together and figure out how we're going to move forward. And there are some people who have sent out notifications with some grant opportunities. We will apply for grants where we are able to do so. But we're taking this one step at a time.
And is it a paved lot or is it a grass lot?
It is a paved lot.
And who's the previous owner of it?
Yep, I don't know.
And the county bought it, but is the title in?
First of all, the county did not buy this piece of land. A Miracle for Sure bought this land. We applied for a grant funding and we utilized that monies to get this piece of land. It is in our name.
And did that grant money come through the county? Okay, that did come through the county. It seemed like it was last $250,000 and this went.
And that's something, John. It was listed for $1.5 million.
We worked them down.
Okay. And the final price was?
$670,000.
Why did a Miracle for Sure need to be the one to buy the land and to misuse money from Dauphin County? Why didn't Dauphin County just buy the land themselves?
I think, that's where the partnership comes in at, right? I believe that city, state, government, period, has a role, right? But when it comes to the lives of the residents within the community, when it comes to allowing for privacy and comfortability, I don't think that that is necessarily the role of the government. And so for us to be able to be the ones moving forward in that role.
Will there be services on site here at the 9th Street Center, social services, health services? What will be on site?
So yes, to answer the question, holistically, our goal is to be able to meet with the individuals that will be housed. They will be considered residents. I want to dismiss encampment. I want us to not even use it again. It is a miracle community. We are building a community where they will be able to receive mail at this location. They will be able to apply for benefits because they have an address. Some people did not have that moving forward. We are set uniquely, and I will say divinely, behind the CMU, Case Management Unit, called, what is it called now? Pathways Forward. We're also behind Connections, direct access to services. Couldn't be any closer. Transportation will not be a problem. We come up with a problem, we're gonna make sure that somebody gets direct help when it's needed, whatever the case may be. Currently, we are providing case management services out of our office, and we have been doing that for 15 years at no cost to any community person that comes in. That will continue.
I also want to point out that all of the outreach teams, both from various nonprofit organizations, as well as our county team members and the nurses from UPMC, all of those outreach efforts will continue at the new site.
What's going to happen to the people who don't want to leave the PennDOT location, and is there a final date for them to get all their things out?
So we are hoping to accomplish this move by the middle of the month of August, soon, if not sooner. And everyone will have a choice of whether they go to the new property or not.
But they can't stay where they're at.
They will not be able to stay where they're at.
When will that lot be closed? When will that lot be closed?
That is a PennDOT decision at the appropriate time when PennDOT chooses.
And how long will it be closed? You know, how long will PennDOT have control of that? I guess, I assume they're gonna.
Permanently.
Oh, so it's gonna be a permanent, they'll have it fenced in permanently.
I don't know what they're going to do in terms of fencing, but that will be up to them.
So they will not be able to return after the project is over.
That is my understanding.
How many tents and people are there now versus the capacity at the new location?
It depends on the day, honestly.
Okay.
The couple years ago, the highest number we had was around 120. In January of this year, we were down in the 80s. People.
Okay.
And we anticipate approximately 60 individuals would choose to go to the new site. We'll have to see how that pans out over the next several weeks.
And that would be 60 tents roughly, or a lesser number of tents?
Well, it depends.
60 or more.
Yeah.
60 or more tents?
Yeah.
Yep.
It would depend on the family dynamic.
Right, and what would be the capacity? Is 60 or more about the limit there, or is there room?
I'm expecting double that.
Okay. Double that in terms of your capacity. You could get that 120
People.
tents. Oh,
People.
Oh, people. How many tents could you get in there?
60 plus.
60 plus, okay.
Do you believe that this site has the capacity for that double that you just alluded to?
He's referencing individuals, not tents.
Not tents.
Yeah.
So 2 people per tent, roughly?
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
What's like the kind of like security or like oversight? Like what will your role be like on site?
So currently, we have a property manager. We have security cameras. We want our residents to be safe. Case management will be present during the day and evening hours when necessary. We will continue to map that out, if you will, to see what the need is and how it needs to be monitored.
What are you kind of thinking in terms of like, I know you talked about there's some individuals that like don't feel comfortable in like an indoor like controlled environment, and this is still outdoors, but it is a little bit more controlled than
So here's the thing, we don't really know, do we? Right? We didn't think that they would be comfortable coming to my office to take showers and sit down, watch TV, and make phone calls, but they did. They managed to do that. Some people do want to do that. Some people want to advance in life. So we want to be able to be present for that. And when we have those that do not, we will respect that. And then we will make it sure that they get where they want to be so that they are safe.
What is adjacent to this site, and what, are there neighbors, other businesses there, or what?
I do know that the old hotel that used to be across Shinoy Street is currently vacant. Otherwise, no.
Okay,
It's just a blank piece of land.
Okay, one piece of land.
What's gonna be different when it comes to policing this new encampment?
That we're gonna have to talk to the, so when you say policing, I'm not a police officer. So what do you mean by that?
Just in general, I know the city has said they're gonna provide some sort of services. What will be different
Okay,
in this
I
location
think we're
compared
gonna
to
have to ask the
I
police.
mean, we're going to be there.
Yeah.
People say stuff like, what are you going to do when people throw things on the ground? We're going to tell them to pick it up. Right now, it's the Wild Wild West in Tent City. So when you do something, there's no one to say, hey, don't do that. People come to our business to take showers. They smoke. They used to smoke on the sidewalk. And then one day, my mom was like, hey, can y'all go around the corner and smoke? Oh, yeah, of course we can. So it's simple as that. As soon as we say, hey, this is what we want you to do, don't do this, most of the time, people abide by that. Yes, we understand drug and alcohol is a thing. There's not going to be an armed guard there. The reason the cameras are there are to protect people's stuff. I want people to be able to leave their belongings in their tent and come back 6 hours later and it's still there. We will be, walking the lanes. It's not that complicated, but we're not surveillancing people. We're surveillancing the area. Drug dealers are not going to be able to pull up. Prostituting is not going to be able to pull up and just willy-nilly. We're going to say, hey, you're not supposed to be here. You can't be here. Do you live here? Other homeless people who don't live there will be allowed to come there, but there will be some sort of restrictions because we understand how crazy that can get. We will have an application process for you to get a section. Name, family size, address, a little bit of demographics, but not anything that's like a barrier intrusively unless they want to give us that information. So we're trying to have a low entry to this land.
And is there gonna be somebody on site all the time, or mainly somebody just watching the cameras, or?
What
No.
shift you volunteering for?
And that is actually, that's the case. Like, we want to make sure that we're working with our partners. People who care about this community will show up, however that looks. But we're not, no one is sitting and monitoring cameras. Nobody's got that to do.
Yeah.
But what we want them to do is we want them to feel comfortable. We want them to feel safe. And we want to make sure that the city and community is safe as well.
When it comes to fire, when it comes to EMTs, emergency responses, I know the mayor's not here right now, but can you speak to whether or not there's a plan to?
So if you've been to Tent City and seen the fire hydrants that they already have in Tent City, they have fire hydrants in Tent City. I'm guessing and hoping that they'll move them over here. So just in case there is an emergency, they will be available.
I'll just share to that, in all of our monthly meetings that we've had for the last year and a half plus, Harrisburg Police have been part of those meetings. Security planning has been talked about ad nauseum. So I believe the city has, a plan in which they currently have a plan for the current encampment and, a miracle community. They got a plan for that too.
Thank you. Thank you.
I also want to point out that the fire extinguishers that were donated at the current location, those fire extinguisher opportunities will move to the new location as well. And they will be placed every so many feet according to what is recommended by the fire chief.
Now, the mayor did say she was against the outdoor cooking element of this, but the way you described cooking right at the tent. But I do know a lot of people bring in heaters and gas heaters and sterno cans to heat their tents in the wintertime.
So,
How do you
so
prevent
John,
that?
we're still meeting and planning for that. No sternos, no gas lit, no
Kerosene.
carbon monoxide. We're going to talk about those. We're looking at alternatives, solar panel, solar operated. We're going to go that route. We're going to really try to be very safe. We cannot afford to lose another life at this point in time.
What's the county's role in this? Is it kind of just like providing services? Is there going to be like a funding aspect or?
Well, the funding was to acquire the property for the future site of low-income housing. We continue to work with all of our partners, not just A Miracle for Sure, but all of our partners who serve our community members who are most vulnerable. We do that through a number of grant writing opportunities, and as funds are made available, we will look into what the next step is.
I want to answer. I want to answer that question as well, really quick. So the county's role, everything Randy just said. Obviously, the typical services we would have, drug and alcohol department, any other department that would be relevant to this particular community. The other thing I want to say is I think, I'm very open to using the platform to get the word out, and what I mean by that is, Marcia just referenced solar. We've actually looked at, Randy was telling me about some options for like solar heaters that are safe for tents, and potentially what it would look like to announce to the community that we've identified that this is the one type of heater that we've authorized that can be used by an unhoused person, and we're encouraging you, if you feel passionate about this, to buy this heater or to make this donation so that it can be purchased, because you can heat an unhoused tent for the winter by a donation. I think we're willing to use our platform to get the word out so that safe options can be utilized, because we see that as a cost mitigation, not just for the county but for the city. Obviously, harm reduction. We don't want anyone starting a fire in their tent, but also when a fire is started in a tent, it requires police and fire to have to go out, and it requires all of that. It creates challenges in a community, and so I think now if we can mobilize and encourage people, because we have such networks of churches and nonprofits that want to get involved, I think we want to try to formalize some of this, not in a barrier way, not in like creating, not gatekeeping, but more saying this is going to help people in the maximum way we can if we can do this. So that's something we want to do, to formalize some things for the purpose of safety and for the purpose of efficiency.
Just in general, what are going to be the rules? Because you said basically alcohol will be allowed, it's not going to be.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
what are
we
gonna
can't, what we can't do, again, we're not trying to change people's way of life,
Okay.
right? But public drunkenness is against the law, right? Okay, so we want to be mindful of that. I think reminding them of that will be helpful.
But if you're in your tent drinking, is that public drunkenness?
It is not, but if you come out and you act a fool in the community, cause disruption in the community, they know that disruption in the community is not welcomed. So we'll address it as it come along, Sean.
Hey everyone, thank you for your questions. If you want to stick around, you could certainly grab someone if you want to have follow-up questions. But thank you for being here. Thank you for covering this. And if you have questions, Allison's kind of helped organize this, and Cassie as well. If you need any interface with the county, we probably will release a press release later today with some of the quotes. But thank you for being here, and thank you for covering.
Thank you, guys.
Ta-da.